Since the earliest days of global football, legends have carried not only trophies and titles, but also the weight of expectation for generations to come. When such icons become fathers, the world almost assumes their children will carry on the legacy. But the truth is far more complex. Some of these sons chose courage over tradition, refusing to live in their father's shadow. We begin with the most talked about case of recent years. David Luca, son of Neymar Jr. From the moment he could walk, he was spotted running across pitches, wearing Barcelona and PSG kits, always by his father's side. Many believed it was only a matter of time before Neymar's son carried the famous number 10 shirt himself. But Davy surprised the world. As he grew older in Miami, he fell in love not with football, but with basketball. Training in American academies, he dreams not of World Cups but of NCAA courts. Few know this, but Neymar had to publicly dispel bizarre rumors about Davy's paternity early on. Today, he remains his son's biggest supporter, encouraging him to succeed on his own terms, even if it means chasing hoops instead of goals. In England, the Beckham family brought its own twist to the tale. Brooklyn Beckham, the eldest son of David and Victoria, once tried football through the Arsenal Youth Academy, but the passion didn't stick. Brooklyn chose instead the creative worlds of photography and cuisine. He published a book of portraits, worked in fashion campaigns, and launched his own cooking show online. He even admitted in interviews that while he loves football, he never felt the same fire his father did for the game. Many don't realize he originally trained as a barista in London before moving into the arts, quietly carving his own identity, far away from the expectations of Old Trafford or Wembley. His younger brother, Romeo Beckham, took a different but equally bold route. Romeo trained with Arsenal's youth squads, played for Inter Miami too, and even joined Brentford's B team. But despite these opportunities, he announced at just 22 years old that he would leave professional football altogether. Instead, Romeo embraced modeling, gracing runways for Versace, Burberry, and Armani. He declared that fashion, not football, was his true passion. Few people know that Romeo struggled with injuries throughout his teen years, which made him reconsider whether pushing for a football career was worth the risk. Today, he thrives not on grass, but on the runway.
It's Beckham, who sends it on goal! Beats Grinwis! And Inter Miami 2, with some breathing room, 3 unanswered.
I think we've seen this before.
Across the Mediterranean, in Rome, another high-profile story unfolded. Christian Totti, son of AS Roma legend Francesco Totti, was expected by many Italians to inherit the eternal captain's crown. Christian trained in Roma's academy, later tried his luck with Frosinone and even Rayo Vallecano. Eventually, he joined small Serie D sides in Italy, hoping to prove himself quietly. But at 19, he stunned everyone by announcing an early retirement from professional football. Christian admitted that the burden of the Totti name was too heavy. Now, instead of playing, he works as a scout and youth developer in his father's football school, choosing to honor the sport from the sidelines. A little-known fact, Christian once rejected a lucrative endorsement deal at just 14, feeling it was too much, too soon. That decision foreshadowed the independent streak that would later lead him away from the pitch.
Opulencia física y tan Watt. Y el disparo de Totti. Y buena intervención de Gaizka García.
From Brazil comes another remarkable tale. Joshua Seixas Arantes do Nascimento, son of Pelé. Joshua grew up under the weight of the number 10, training in Santos youth ranks and later joining the Tampa Spartans in the United States. Yet injuries and the suffocating pressure of being Pelé's son pushed him away from professional football. He earned a degree in exercise physiology and today works as a fitness coach and international representative for Santos FC, focusing on training and developing young players. Joshua once said he was Pelé, I'm Joshua. Those words became a defining mantra, a refusal to live as a shadow of the greatest footballer of all time. In Portugal, the story of Paulo Futuri's son, Paulo Jr., offers another unique perspective. While his brother pursued football, Paulo Jr. decided the stage, not the pitch, was his calling. He became a rock musician, fronting a band named FR one day. He swapped football boots for guitars, stadium chants for concert applause. It's little known that Paulo Jr. initially studied sports science before dropping out to focus entirely on music, a decision that shocked many in Portugal, but ultimately gave him peace. There are also quieter stories. Children of other greats, Romário, Rivaldo, and Ronaldinho, chose to pursue careers in business, music, or physical education rather than chase trophies. While they receive less media attention, their decisions reflect the same theme: carving out a life beyond football's relentless spotlight. The common thread across these tales is the same. These young men faced immense pressure. The media wanted goals, fans expected genius, clubs opened doors more because of surnames than raw ability. Yet each of them reached a breaking point and said, "I want to be me." David Luca traded the roar of a stadium for the bounce of a basketball. Brooklyn and Romeo Beckham turned to creativity and fashion. Christian Totti chose scouting instead of playing. Joshua Nascimento became a mentor instead of a star striker. Paulo Futuri's son brought music into the family legacy. These choices weren't easy. Walking away from a guaranteed path, money, fame, global recognition, requires a courage that few acknowledge. The public often calls it quitting, but in reality, it's claiming freedom. Freedom from comparison. Freedom from constant judgment. Freedom to live authentically. It's worth noting some lesser-known curiosities. David Luca once wore jerseys from rival clubs, a subtle teenage protest to show he wasn't bound to PSG or Barcelona's colors. Christian Totti once walked away from Roma's youth program on the eve of signing a professional contract, a decision that shocked his family, but ultimately saved him from years of unwanted attention. Joshua Nascimento spent 2 years as an unpaid intern in a US sports science facility before earning his degree, proving he wanted to earn his way without his father's name. And Romeo Beckham quietly struggled with mental health challenges around performance anxiety, leading him to realize he was happier on a runway than in a stadium. So what do these stories teach us? That legacy does not equal destiny. That being born into greatness doesn't mean you must replicate it. And that sometimes the bravest goal isn't scored on the pitch, but achieved in the quiet act of saying no. As the crowd chants names like Neymar, Beckham, Totti, Pelé, and Futre, their sons remind us that they are more than just extensions of legends. They are their own men, with their own dreams, their own talents, and their own stories. And those stories, written away from the football pitch, are just as inspiring as the greatest matches ever played. Because in the end, not every hero wears boots. Some carry basketballs, some hold cameras, some strum guitars, and some simply choose to live in peace. The courage to be different, to stand apart from a famous surname, may be the greatest legacy of all.